Hello, hello, hello. It's Lily on the go. Good morning, good day. It is Monday, the first full week of the month of July. Here I am, consistent on day 7 at our staircase chronicle. Today is going to be a great day, Start thinking positive. It's going to be a great day. Why would it not be a great day? It's Monday. I already had my first meeting of the day. It's actually my only one. I think that's what makes me a little happy about it because now I can really catch up on work because Friday was a holiday. For today's oh my gosh, Chronicle thoughts was quite interesting because this morning I was getting ready, taking a shower and everything. I was getting ready and I was listening to my church sermon from yesterday because I was at work. I didn't get to go, of course, in person, nor I was just on task yesterday while I was at work on other stuff. But they were talking about Joseph and just the idea of dreams and what God has called you to do. So it's been the last few days, I've been getting confirmation of various things around the same topic, just really knowing what God wants you to do and the purpose he has for you. And as I shared, this whole 40 days lock-in for me specifically was to be able to be in silent and to hear things from God, to hear direction, hear a little bit of clarity on certain things. And the last 7 days, it's like I'm hearing it from different places and it's kind of coming together, or it's just reinforcing what I've already known needs to be, what I kind of know and the direction I want to go, but just getting confirmation in a sense of being around the topic of dreams and purpose and knowing where God is calling you to be. So I share this because I think it was a couple of days ago, actually 2 weeks ago, I was talking to one of my close friends and I actually wanted to discuss something else with her, but we end up talking about our purpose or just really understanding where God wants us to be. And I mentioned to her about this explicit dream that I had, but it was a dream confirming something I had already planned to do in the future. Hence the reason why I'm taking this lock in. But she was giving me some insight and shared with me, hey, check the ChatGPT, put your things in here. And she shared an article with me. And she said that she followed the steps and it kind of gave her some next steps for her to take. And she did it. And she's just now waiting to see the aftermath of it. And yesterday she sent me the article again, just reminding me because we kind of said, we both have this desire to have our desires of what's in our hearts to work on, right? And her and I both worked in the past together in various ways, so she she was like, okay, let's stay committed because we don't see each other. Let's stay committed to actually connecting every 2 weeks in some way, shape, or form so that we can really push each other to really get where we need to get to. So I'm like, okay, bet. Sounds good to me. And she's a doer. If you think I'm gonna do it, this girl, she outdoes me. So that was the thing. And then it was Sunday morning, she sent me the reminder email. But the thing is that I had it in my mind over the weekend to do it. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it while I'm at my part-time. And then I started preparing. And then when I went to my inbox, I saw her email forwarded to me. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, isn't that interesting that in my mind, I already was ready to do some aspects of this. And then now you have confirmation of somebody reminding you. But back to the sermon I heard today, the sermon talked about when Joseph had his dream and how he spoke to spoke to his brothers about it the first time, and then he went back to them again the second time, telling them the same dream. And the pastor said, amongst making sure you know who you share your dreams with, another important thing is that the person that you share your dream with, see how insecure or how secure they are with their relationship with their father. So if they believe in God, or if you're on the same level in terms of who you seek for guidance, see how their relationship is. And that came to mind when I was taking a shower this morning, because I was listening to it, and it was like, it's interesting that people you do share your dreams with, most of the time, if they are in a space where they are in a good relationship with God, they're not struggling, or they're in a healthy, mature relationship, their guidance or response to what you share is going to be different compared to somebody who does not have that background, or who doesn't feel like, who knows who they are in God, where whatever you share with them, it's not going to be like a hatred or a competition, or like a resentment of any kind, because they themselves are very secure in what God has for them and what their purpose and their walk is. So it would not be an interference, right? And I remember speaking with my one cousin, and I brought it to her attention, just asked her a question, because I wanted to be able to approach my friend about this particular task, because I know she's a doer. She's a doer, and she's a close friend of mine. And my cousin said to me, if you value your relationship, absolutely discuss it with her, and discuss it with her and let her know this is something you want to do, because she's such a helpful person. She's gonna want us to do it together. So I was like, okay. And then that's what I did. I spoke to my friend, and even though, like I said, I know her personality, she is a giver, and she wants to help, and she wants to do. Me coming to her because she's so secure in her relationship with God and what purpose and plans she has, even though we may want to do similar things, but we have different niches and ideas of how we go about it, and we still are there to able to support, or still want to be able to support each other should we have, something come up and other things. So I say that because, like I said, the sermon was really good. That aspect of the sermon really kind of brought to mind, because you do want to be mindful of the people you share. And, everybody says, oh, be careful who you text, who you talk to, be careful who you share your thoughts and your dreams and, things. But you also have to think about the person and where they are in life, because I try to be mindful of things that I share. If the person is not in the same space, that they're not going to understand, not that they're not going to understand, they're not going to see it. They're not going to see it the same way I do. And as my life coach had mentioned to me, nobody knows your anthill. Everybody has, their own way of getting to something or having something. So I won't know your life or how you did it, how it's going to be different from myself. And I think that was very helpful. It was just kind of like, I know my friend, and I know the kind of person she is. And because she is very faithful, she's always walking on purpose. She's always doing things with the purpose, and knows that God has, this life over her, certain life and direction for her. I felt very comfortable to share the dream that I had, and where I wanted to go, to the point where she feels like, hey, she's not telling me what to do. She's sharing with me what she herself is doing. So compared to in the story of the Bible, Joseph, of course, went to his brothers, and they felt, because their father loved Joseph so much more, they had that resentment. And that's the reason why they sold him, they sold him away, because they were jealous, right? They were jealous of the dream. They were jealous of that Joseph thought he was all that. And if your friends, or if the person you reach out to discuss your dream, if you don't already know where they're at in their relationship with themselves and with their with God, then they may, have a certain reaction to you, right? And reaction to what you think you're about to do, or what you plan on, or, what God has spoken to you about. So keep that in mind. And it reminds me of, like, I know when I was on YouTube listening to, looking for some stuff, there was this whole talk about, I don't know, this girl named B. Simone or whatever. I don't know her, but, and people were saying how she was this terrible friend and how she was a jealous friend and her friend was jealous of her. I don't know none of these two people, but it was just like, I remember hearing that and I thought about, wow, if you share certain things with certain people, it's okay that some people are not going to understand where you're coming from, but the ones, you have to have a really good discernment of who to share it with, and know that, hey, are they going to give you the feedback or the reaction that is positive, or if they are going to be bringing you down, or, trying to, I guess, put you back in your place and not dream big the way that God has. And there was this other lady I saw. She was in, she's like older, like 40-year-old, and she's moving to Thailand. I think something of ease. I don't remember, but she was sharing how her channel was triggering to some men and some other people, because she plans on wanting to leaving America, and people were just coming at her and just saying things that weren't even what she they were just upset. She was just upset. And I thought about, wow, in the same token, she wanted to share, like, okay, yeah, she's going to have to make some changes to her initial plan, but her dream is to be living outside of the United States as she has lived before. But again, because she's sharing it to the public and people who just, I don't know, for whatever reason, they just didn't like, I guess, the fact that she thinks she was so big and bold that she can move out the country. I don't know if it was a jealousy thing or they just truly did not like her. It was just terrible, the comments she had. But again, it's being mindful and having discernment of who you share your dreams with. So I hope this information was helpful. I need to get my butt back to work because it is Monday and it's going to be a busy day, but I'm definitely going to get some stuff done. And unfortunately, the bed foam I did not sleep well at all. Oh my gosh, I did not sleep well. So again, I have to now find another solution to this problem, but it's okay because I guess I'm grateful to have a bed, right? It's just a matter of finding my comfort. So definitely check out my video for the carnival. I put it in the middle of the night, I think. So, and it was a weekend. I'm sure everybody was busy, but yeah, just watch it for some insight, like, the real true carnival that I know, and, my thoughts on that. All right, everybody, thank you for the Staircase Chronicle, and I'll see you all next time. And I do plan on doing a video for a full review on the glamping in Chateau Elan, because I want to not really transition, but I want to be able to share feedback for places that I go, because I really am inspired and know that the direction of me helping people go to places, live life to the fullest has always been my calling and always been a priority for me. So as I'm going to all these places, I want to make sure that you get full context of these locations. So in case you're interested. All right. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.